Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Top 100 Crypto Reviews. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the audio feedback doesn't sound as bad as last week. Sorry about that, everybody. I had the air conditioner on last week, I think a couple weeks, and it was just, when I was listening back afterward, I was like, oh my god, that's horrible. I've got the fan on behind me, so I don't have the air conditioner on. Hopefully it's not too bad here for you this week. But anyway, welcome back to the Frivolity. I've got my co-hosts here. These guys are total fucking rock stars, man. I love working with these guys. We'll just go from top to bottom. Let's maybe keep the banter to a minimum so we can get through a bunch of these names tonight. So Nick, how you doing this evening, Nick?
I'm good.
Awesome, good. Derek, how's it going, buddy?
What's up? I got my second win. I'm ready to go.
All right. And Ben, how are you doing this evening?
Great. Ready to rock and roll.
Excellent. Everybody noticed Ben said he hooked up his big professional microphone and reverb and all that, so he's sounding like super pro. And I will say that we were just chatting about it a little beforehand. Ben's been working away on his little application here. Do you call it an app? Is that what you call this? I'm not even quite sure.
Yep.
But Ben's even got a cool little icon. He's working away on that. And he didn't mention there's one little snafu with just images, but what he did point out was that our little write-ups, and then, he was saying that this little chilies that we kind of liked, when you look on it, it gets the gold-plated award. Actually, he thinks it's one of the higher-ranked coins in our little cryptoverse. So anyway, really cute little application Ben's working on. And, we have had a number of people who are asking for access to the spreadsheet, but that spreadsheet's kind of like, it's a bit sort of an internal document to TRI. This way, this is actually a really cool way that you can access all that information. Hopefully, we can get that little chart bug figured out in the near term. But you have that as a handy little reference guide. Super cool. And then hopefully what ends up happening is as we sort of go forward over time, we have the basic charts in place, and now we can just simply update them. And, the cool part about it is everything is basically played out almost exactly as I kind of anticipated, in that the whole damn market came off after Mr. Dog Money did his wonderfulness, and Coinbase had their IPO. Literally, the market was just too heavily saturated on the buy side. It had to be cleaned up. And sure enough, they've gone through the cleanup process, and actually now we're already starting to bang out some doubles on some pretty big names that TRI really likes. So we're already starting to make money on the seasonal pivot already, so it's fantastic to see. As I had said there a moment ago, Brian talked way too much last week and the previous week. Let's try not make this 3 or 4 hours. So we'll just quickly go through our sort of review of what we thought was going to happen with the corn and sort of what trend is. So Nick's written down here. Is that our mark here? 39,500 right now?
It went up a whopping $100.
$100. So actually not bad. Good old Brian seems to be relatively on spot here, so that's kind of good. I'm not exactly sure where I'm feeling the market really wants to go in the short term, although I think I would be almost prefer leaning back to the upside here. So I think I'm going to do a 1. So I'm going to go back to yellow here and be slightly optimistic. Last week we had Nick here a little bit negative, 35 to 36, then head back up. So I don't know how deep did we get there through the week. Did you get your level hit?
No, it was about 37.5. I think we dropped to. Then we had a couple good days again.
All right. So, but you're going to go into the sort of neutral camp here, I guess?
Yeah, I don't want to go full-on bull mode, but I'm getting excited. There's EIP 1559 tomorrow, which could be a big catalyst or a big sell the news event. Who knows? But we'll see.
Do you have like a link or something to that news? That would be like some sort of summary. I have no idea. You just said, kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher. You just said, tomorrow we have wah, 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 wah. And Brian goes, is that a W? Do I buy that? So I have no idea what you just made reference to, but it sure sounded pro, eh?
No, it's a Ethereum improvement. What's the P stand for? Proposal.
Yep.
That is aiming to kind of make fees more predictable on ETH.
Okay.
It's part of a long range of, I think there's 3 EIPs that are coming out in the next, 3 to 6 months that'll make ETH a little more scaled. And then leading into ETH 2.0, which will hopefully make gas prices much, much, much lower than they are today, along with the scaling solutions that are coming out alongside it, as well as if there's enough usage on Ethereum, it could actually make the token deflationary over time.
Fascinating. All right, so if you happen to have a link handy for that, Nick, I'd appreciate it. Maybe we'll even throw it in the lounge, so at least I don't sound totally stupid in things like daily briefs and stuff tomorrow. And actually, that Ethereum's been working its way higher here nicely, eh? So I suppose that's probably what's driving the bus here. Yeah. I mean, I do remember, I thought it was fascinating. It's such a great example, and actually maybe a good time for a quiz here. Let's see, who's getting ready for an exam? You're getting ready for an exam here, Nick. So what do we call this 3-bar pattern right there?
That looks an awful lot like an empire.
Yeah, fractal. Beautiful pivot point, came down into that level, really flirted with those lows, and then just said, nope, I don't want to break that. I'm out of here to the upside.
That looks like a good 3rd grade teacher's W.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. It's interesting that you point that out. I will say something that's a little bothersome about this is if we change that to a line chart, and it really all depends on where you're looking, but this was awfully suspect down there, so a little bit suspicious down there. But the good part about it was the sell-off, and try and remember this going forward, because it's such a great tell. You notice that the selling just basically disappeared through here, just non-existent. So all the market needed was just some sort of oomph, something to get it going, and sure enough, away we go. And you can even see over the course of the past few weeks, we had this really low candle here, but up, down, up, down, up. Like that's a volume impetus. The bulls are getting stronger and awaker and more active with every push. So I suppose it's a good sign. But as you said, maybe this is a buy the rumor. We are now finally coming back into these highs as resistance. Maybe you gotta sell the news. The good thing is I don't see any sort of price structure here thing we have to worry about. So worst case scenario, it's just a violent straight down dip. This actually, and we were talking about this in the daily brief, but I'll just leave it at this because it's such a cool illustration here. I get the feeling that this is. You guys ever seen me post those billiard ball fractals? What does random look like? You guys ever seen me do that before? Ben, you ever seen that before? Let's see. I think
Is that a video?
I don't think I've ever done a video on it, but I did.
Okay.
Billiard ball. The only problem is searching Twitter is always such a challenge, but I think this will work. But in the daily brief with Kevin today, we were doing this. Nope, that didn't work.
You have an R in ball.
All right. There we go. So actually, this image right here, that's what's called billiard ball theory. And it actually describes how random actually looks, and it turns out random is not very random after all. But try and think of that kind of image, that sort of fractally, you got two big spikes on left and right hand side, and then sort of a consolidation in the middle kind of thing. So if you kind of think about, look at that image there, and you kind of see this is a market symmetry kind of conversation. And actually, I really should do this module for the education course. But you can kind of see that if we go, if we say, well, maybe that's sort of like the left-hand side. And keep in mind, this is upside down. So that image that I showed you is right side up. But if you kind of think that really that's just an image split in half, and each half of the image looks identical to each other, then you can sort of see that same sort of thinking here, where this is kind of like half of the image. Right there. Right, and the little doji actually I think is probably your midpoint pivot. And I thought this was kind of fun. Maybe a fun little tool. People on YouTube want to get some sort of, hey, I never knew that before. This guy actually gives us value for watching this, and he doesn't ask for any remuneration? Wow, there's something weird about this guy. But check this out. So I'm going to take that price action, and I'm just going to, well, you know, I saw I replicated, and then I'm just going to flip it over and then watch what happens. Boosh. Isn't that cool? So you can literally see.
That's spooky.
Isn't that incredible? That's awesome, eh? So, you know, you've heard me say, like, look left, right? When I say price is melting down or something. Well, it's because, you know, like here, for example, I think you could make the argument that really all this is the midpoint of the fractal. Let's say that's the low. And really, the correct, so there's the left-hand side of the fractal. The right-hand side of the fractal, we're just going to take this and just flip it around. And there becomes your price consolidation. It's not bad. So, I mean, they always say history doesn't repeat, but it does like to rhyme. So, I remember I did one for IOC a few years ago when I first got into crypto, and everybody at that point just was so mesmerized by that image. Anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's interesting that you mentioned that, Nick, that we're coming into that fundamental event window, right? So I kind of like that thinking. This was buy the rumor and get ready. Could be some serious volatility coming up here on that news. So fascinating. All right. So there's sort of your 64,000 foot picture on Ethereum, and I kind of like that thinking coming up against these highs. Look left. What do we got in store for us? It looks like a whole shitload of volatility is about to hit the fan here over the next few days. So get ready, folks. You know, like, for example, that Luna. I mean, maybe the damn thing just keeps going straight up, but I doubt it. I suppose you could make the same argument here, right? If we did a market symmetry and maybe this doji right here is the midpoint pivot, then that means that we're probably going to look something like that. Whoa, look at that. Not bad, eh? So you can see the rally. You can see the pullback. In this case, it was there to there, right? That's out of there. Then big spike up. Coming up into these highs. Did you guys listen to the Daily Brief today? Who did I say is these people right here? Do you guys remember that reference? This is
I missed today because it was work, but
okay.
Yeah, I didn't get to listen today either.
This is a beautiful analogy of capitalism. Think of it this way. Think of it like you know, the man. Hey, I'm the man, right? I'm the breadwinner. I make the financial decisions, right? So man goes in, and let's say he's got his paycheck, and he sees this pattern. He's like, all right, this is a bull. And you know, that Beamish guy says that you know, I want to buy pullbacks, but you notice that there seems to be here, for example, quite a bit of buying, but then it gets sort of rejected back down. Oomph. And then again, you know, and repeatedly a number of times. There. So clearly people were bullish, but they just kept getting punched in the nose. There are a lot of people that buy stuff in this world. I used to have clients like this, and it used to drive me crazy. Yeah, Kevin, you know where I'm going with this. I used to have clients like this. They would literally say to me, Brian, I'm going to buy something in my account here, especially if it's a registered account with the government. There's no way in hell I'm going to sell. I'm just not going to sell. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to sell at a loss. There's no fucking way I'm going to do that because it's a registered account. Once you crystallize the loss, you can't even deduct the tax loss selling, the loss from your taxes. So they just say, fuck it. If I buy, I'm in. So just imagine how they feel, though, right here. Oh, bush. Oh, no. What am I going to do? So, Mr. Man, he might have even gone and spent the family vacation money. Hey, I'll just make a quick flip. Hey, a quick trade. I'll double my money, and then I can go and buy, that little sports car I've always had my eye on. I'm caught. And, of course, you tell the wife, oh, dear, we're not going to be able to go on vacation this summer because, I lost the money in the market. What? You're out in the doghouse. If you're lucky, you get to sleep on the couch. And you don't really hear that too much in our society anymore. Remember Fred Flintstone, stuff like that? Are you old enough to remember Fred Flintstone?
Oh, yeah.
So he used to have to sleep on the in the doghouse with Dino, right, when he was bad. So a lot of husbands, and I don't know, maybe it's wives these days too. I suppose that's a sexist statement, but they're trapped. They bought here, they're not going to sell, and the only way in hell they're going to sell is if the price can somehow get back to that level. And you can even see. There was a push up into here, and somebody that was a trap bull right in here was like, get me the hell out of here. And now this guy's like, oh, phew, my wife will talk to me again. So we always say, these guys right here, whenever you look back on a chart, these guys here, they're sleeping on the couch. These guys right up here, they're sleeping on the couch. This guy up here, he can't even look himself in the mirror in the mornings. He's so embarrassed about chasing. So if they get the opportunity to get off the couch and get back in the wife's good books, they will. So that's one way to think about this concept. But the other way I would say, and frankly speaking, the buy the rumor, sell the news scenario seems perfect in my eyes. Because in essence, the market all got bid up here on maybe anticipation of a whole new wave of DeFi. If we consider that the midpoint consolidation pivot, and then we flip that around, market symmetry, then really, that's exactly what we should expect here, right? So there's your rally off the lows, pull back, rally up into these highs, and we should get quite a bit of chop in here over the next few days. So be ready, folks. Same sort of thing as the Ethereum. This one, of course, is Luna, not really associated with Ethereum, but my hunch is probably that buy the rumor, nice easy trade. I gotta say, this was really fluid. This was really comfortable. It was a one-directional trade. It was low stress. It makes sense now exactly what you're saying here, Nick. I think this was exactly the buy the rumor, if not short covering the rumor. Does that make sense? Anybody who was short off of this or did sell, we got down into here as one example, and they're kind of like, okay, phew. You know what? Let's book our short profits. We got a little bit of a vacuum coming in here. Interesting thing about this is I think you can make the argument that this is a bit of a midpoint consolidation as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if into some sort of peak on that ETH news. That's a nice little bull flag. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing actually tops out right up. Actually, we're getting pretty darn close to those levels, eh? So we're probably getting pretty close to some sort of pivot up in here. There's a cute little bull flag for you. So there's your backdrop. I think over the past few weeks we have been talking about the market feels as though it's kind of uppy. And there was some money to be made. I thought this was a really great example too of Foggenbaum. So the easiest way for you to understand where markets are likely to go if they do go and W out is 2.618, and 4.669, 8.77. I think it's 16.88, but I'm not positive about that number. And lo and behold, look what happened there. Doink. Isn't that incredible when you see that? It's just absolutely jaw smacking. So my hunch is buy the rumor. It's a nice one-directional trade. Often, we actually get a full Wyckoff check. Actually, I think we're calling it a Benkoff check these days. Full Benkoff check here. And that actually usually happens off of this Feigenbaum concept. Is the market, if it gets rejected off of this 2.618, it will actually have to come right back down to the original breakout here. So this actually makes perfect sense with what Nick just said there a few minutes ago. It actually makes really, really good sense. And what an awesome testament to what a fucking killer trader this Beamish guy is. I was booking sick-ass profits on Luna right underneath that level. I had a gut feeling that that's where we were going. I worked my order right under there, and I got filled like a boss there. I was very proud of myself. Thank you very much. But I gotta say, you're trading with Feigenbaum these days, man, it sure makes life easy. Because you just sit there and you're like, oh, where's this gonna go? I don't know. And you, oh no, just throw your order just underneath that and you should get a fill. And sure enough, doink. I mean, it's sickening how often that happens now. So, ironically enough, actually, I think a lot less now that I use Feigenbaum. I just simply trade the levels. It's shocking. So let's see what happens with the Luna. My hunch is, and interesting too, like this is a professional trader speaking. I established a risk-free trade here. I have no risk. I put like, I don't know, better part of 10 grand into this damn trade. I got no risk now. Zero. Zilch. None. I have total free position. There are others, who I'm talking about if you're watching this video, who are like, oh no, I'm just gonna hold on and let's see where this goes. I do not like that approach. If you can get yourself into a risk-free trade, you try and, I don't know whether you guys can see, I still got a bit of hair on the top of my head. I want to try and desperately hold on to as much of it as I can. So this is a kind of strategy where it just makes it as least stress as possible. I think it also gives you the ability to come and, participate in the market lightheartedly, joke about capitalism, be pissed off at people like Alan because he's a terrible, terrible role model. Criticize people like Saylor for doing silly financings at the top of markets and having to go to shareholders and report $250 million losses. And yet, I'm like bulletproof in this game. I just come in, I just bang out doubles. My account balance just keeps creeping higher day after day after day. And like I said, I really like this name, and I'm really proud of myself. I got a huge position now in this thing, all free of charge. Don't have to worry. If this thing goes off the board, doesn't affect me one bit. That's how you play from this game from a position of strength. All right, I think I'll get off my high horse now. Sorry, everyone. But, what the hell, it's my show. Every once in a while, I get to brag a little bit. I'm very proud of myself with that trade. That was a kick-ass trade.
Did we ask Derek or Ben where their next week projection was?
Oh, I beg your pardon. Sorry, Nick. Nick obviously was not impressed with that whatsoever. Sorry.
No, I am impressed. I'm just always impressed.
I mean, that's the TRI way, so that's what we're all here to learn.
There we go. Yeah. All right, so Nick did give us our prognostication. He's gone neutral. Derek, what do you think is going to happen here next?
I'm one again.
Slightly bullish?
I guess that's slightly bullish, yep.
I've joined you, and I don't know if we want to have like a minimum percentage return here to actually quantify what the difference between a 0 and a 1 or a negative 1 or a 2 is. But technically, I think you were right, so way to go.
That whole 100, was it $100?
Well, $100 you were, all the rest of us were wrong.
I'll take it.
So there you go. Merry Christmas. And Ben, what's your prognosis? Oh, you turned mildly bullish as well?
Yeah, I think
that Ben's got 2 columns.
There we go. I don't know what's going on there.
I think this was, what have we done here? I'm sorry to interrupt. So, you've turned mildly bullish. You're feeling optimistic?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the buyers are stepping up at the moment.
Okay.
We'll see after this news how it goes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens after. And when is that? Is that tomorrow?
It
Nick?
goes live tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. All right. So we were going to create some sort of like index or something over here. I'm not quite sure what we did there. So anyway, I'll maybe just get rid of all that there. So all right. So there's Ben. Okay, so look at that. Three positives and 1 neutral. Jeez, if this price doesn't go up, we're gonna look awfully foolish next week, aren't we? But oh well. That's if anything, this is a great testament to why I say don't get into the business of predicting the future, because often if you look back in hindsight, you go, oh gee whiz, I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was. Hey, this is actually a really good exercise to humble yourself, because it just goes to show 9 times out of 10 nobody can predict the future. You just don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. But anyway, what the hell. Okay, so we're feeling bullish. Even our most bearish vote is a neutral, so that's kind of good. Fascinating how we have that news event tomorrow. Somebody make a reference to that and see if next week, if we're down, if we actually did top on that news event. That would be interesting. Okay, so, gee, how the hell did I do that? I talked for half an hour. I didn't even say anything. Sorry, guys. Well, at least we cut off the ramble at a half an hour, so that's good. Sometimes, I think Nick told me one time I went on for like a whole hour there. So, we got
It was a good hour. It was a good hour.
Okay. Okay, so first on the hit list this week, and let's see how many we can get through here. It would be nice if we could get through a bunch of these. So let's see how we do. Ontology, O-N-T. Who wants to tell me what the story is here?
I can tell you a little bit about it. It's a blockchain that kind of centers itself around identity and data. There's a couple coins out there that are going after like an digital identity use case. It looks like Ontology has a decent amount of apps building on it. I was looking around. I didn't see if it integrates with Ethereum directly. I know it developed an EVM or an Ethereum virtual machine, so it is compatible with Ethereum smart contracts, but I'm not sure if you can get cross-chain over to ETH from it.
Is that whole bridging?
Yeah, very similar.
Like, do you know Ubic?
I do.
Yeah, so Ubic, would you say it's similar to, like Ubic's sort of like a clone of Ethereum, I guess?
Yeah, I think this is definitely going after a different use case. It's much more centered around like kind of like a digital like identity biometric like type
biometric
use case. I guess I don't know if it gets into biometrics, but it's around identity and like your own
like medical
data.
records, credit cards, credit scores, copyrights. It says that type of thing. It's also tied kind of closely tied to Neo, so it's built by the same company. So it's a Chinese invention, and it launched in like 2018 and during the bear market, and it essentially went straight up when it launched. So
yeah,
that was probably one of the only coins. Well, not only coins, but it was one of the coins on that time that just went haywire during that whole bear market 2018. So
it was a Neo token for a while, right? Before it went live.
Yeah, somehow it was on the Neo network or tied to it more closely, than it like separated and launched its own chain or something like that.
Yeah, it's probably why while they were developing, and then they launched their main net and they had their own native token.
Yeah, so it's closely tied to that.
Okay. I gotta say, technically speaking, it's a pretty good looking name. It's got a pretty good looking base here, eh? You know, like I often say that what I really want to see is what they call a saucer bottom. So, and something that looks like that. Obviously, it's not the prettiest of saucers. But you get the idea, right? Where it sort of looks like, you know, like your teacup would be in here. Yeah, your little handle right there. So, nice saucer. So, that's a good sign. So you can see you got a really, really wide, massive. That's going to be like a weekly W, eh? So we got our weeklies. There it is. So I remember I used to, in the 17-18 bull market, after that thing finished, I literally had to sit there with people and just simply say, don't look at anything until you start seeing weekly W's. So here is a really, really good testament to that. So, you know, could you have forced yourself to come in and buy this little bottom here? You got a killer trade there. But really, I think, you know, forest through the trees, you got to really see this big bottom down in here. So, interestingly enough, this, in my opinion, is this isn't an example of, you guys ever heard, you know, probably talking heads on media and stuff say, pullbacks are buying opportunities. So that's exactly what I would say this is. So, you know, there's sometimes when you get like, you know, like I can't really see it on here. But let's say like here, right? The market was working its way up and then came slamming down, started to break down, and then, you know, coming down in here. You know, on this kind of dump, especially with the M, it's kind of like, well, that pullback, that's not necessarily a buying opportunity. It's breaking to new lows. Ideally, you would have liked to have seen this pullback here hold these lows and it turned back up. It didn't. So here we are. We've put in a bottom. We've broken out. We got good old Benkoff checks going here. We would ideally, in fact, wow, look at that. Just what's come in there recently. Right off that 88.6. Yeah, I mean, price action wise, that is pretty darn compelling down there. Momentum wise. Where are we here? It's one of these crazy screens I have that I use. Summer 21. There it is. Well, actually interesting. So here's a really good example. Nick, you just learned this. Derek, you probably remember this. So this rally here, and that sort of got started at 64 cents, worked its way all the way up to 265. So you definitely got your doubles, triples, all that kind of fun stuff. Can you see how the market actually put in a bullish divergence, right? Where the hell is it? There it is. Right over here. So there to there. Oh, actually, it's not a bull div. Oh, beg your pardon. Actually, well, kind of a bigger one all the way over there. That low was from that low there. So that is a div there to there. So, actually, I think we can live with that. It's not the end of the world. But something along those lines. And then that was confirmed right there. Boom. So this is a pretty big breakout here momentum-wise. And this is a weekly chart, too. It's a huge turn here. Really, really big turn. A little disappointing, though. You know, probably a really great example. Don't chase, don't chase. You can see the actual confirmed bear div that came in. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Gee whiz. So, unfortunately, at that point right there, this candle right here, bulls, you got to cool your jets. So, we would ideally like to see a new bottom. I don't like it when it V bottoms like that. So, that's a tough one. I'm going to say that, especially considering what you guys talked about happening tomorrow, I do like the idea probably of this maybe even, this was maybe like a 38.2 into here. Boom, boom, there to there. Actually, probably even higher, maybe even 50%. Yeah. So 50% bounce. I think we're probably going to have to calm down here a little bit through this. But gee whiz, what an interesting looking bottom. You guys have heard me say before, candle body lows for trade location. If you were interested in participating on this, interesting how that basically is the original bottom over here, right? 88.6, so and that is the POC as well. So if I wanted to be long, I'd probably want to throw my stink bids in there at about 63.5 or so. And just let that order work. And if we're lucky, tomorrow, whenever the next day is, that FA event on ETH, that brings in a bit of a short-term top. And we can draw a trend line off of this low, boobity-boo. And we can do a fib off of that high back to that low, and then do reload zones. And you should see, yep, there we go. So there's your buy zone. It's kind of cool how this stuff all lines up. And also notice, too, that's basically off of, ooh, here's a nice quiz question. Who should we quiz here? Derek should remember this. I don't know whether he will or not. But what do we call that 2-bar pattern right there?
Railroad tracks.
Boom, boom. Yeah. And also, too, look how that's off of that candle body low trade location level, eh? Right in there. Ching, ching. It's a serious level in there. So it sounds, and actually this would be, actually this is better for you, Derek. You better know this for the exam. Who would be, maybe, actually, oh, where's his icon? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. Who might be interested in coming in down here and buying right down in that area, right down in there?
Mr. Hogue.
Yeah, wow, Mr. Hoagland.
Hoagland.
Everybody on the floor just called him the Hogue. So, anyway. And actually, this is also, too, a really good example. What setup is this, Derek? Man, I'm working. Every single show I have asked you about this setup, so let's see if he remembers.
It's the shark. It's a shark, right?
No, well, no. Okay.
I was looking at the 78.6.
You know, you're level 2, so we're talking Hogan, we're talking profile here. But, yeah, I think you could, there's 78.6 off the original bottom. So, yeah, you could say that is a shark setup because there is a W there. But I'm not quite going for that. What I'm going for here is the market came down below value. It put in we called this a railroad track. So that's a pretty good looking reversal pattern. So if this is going to put in a reversal at the bottom of value and accept back into value, I'm giving you the answer.
It's the 80%.
Hey, very good. So technically, Mr. Hoagland would expect this market to actually trade right back up to value high here. If it can accept back, so it dipped down below value down over here, and then went, no, and got the hell out of there, got back into value. So if that's the case, then 80% of the time we should go and trade right back up to value high. And that's exactly what happened. It's a really cool example. But that kind of means that the trade's kind of over. And considering we saw the bear div come in on this move up here, we're getting a lot of sort of anecdotal sort of pieces of, hey, yeah, guys, this trade's getting a little old. So if I wanted to be a buyer, I think I would definitely want to really laser beam focus right down against this trend line, against the bottom of value, against the original tweezers, railroad tracks bottom, against this trend line, against the bottom of value, reload zone 78.6s. That's a pretty good level. So put that one in your pipe and smoke it. Actually, it's not, that is, if I'm not mistaken though, I think I did buy some of this recently. Sounds familiar. Let's see. Oh, gee whiz. Why is it? I don't know whether you guys use Trex or not, but Trex is like constantly logging me out now. It's quite frustrating. Let's see what we got here. Okay, just give me a second here. Okay, ONT. I could have sworn I'm trying to buy some of this. let's see what we got here. Holdings. Actually, no, I guess it would be recent orders, eh? Recent orders. Let's see where we are. Oh, fudge. No fills. Boo. Open orders? I don't see any. It's not weird. I could have sworn I was trying to buy this thing. Maybe, is this thing only on Binance? It might have been one of those names that you're just not allowed to trade on Trex. Oh no, there it is. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it says it's on Trex, but it's one of those ones that's calculated by, well, the one I pulled up was calculated by TradingView, so I don't know if it's...
You mean the ONT versus USD kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't mind going in and buying some of this down here. It's not a terrible location. The only problem that I have here, actually, this is interesting. We used to do this with Cryptopia. Keep in mind, this tail here is a very suspicious. Where, if you go to sort of these illiquid exchanges, maybe I want to see how much. Maybe I did buy some of this recently. Let's see. I could have sworn I bought some of this recently. But I'm a little concerned that those lows look a little vulnerable in there. Let's see. ONT. ONT. Oh, yeah, I got a whack of it. Let's see. So, when did I last do something on this? Yeah, a couple grand worth. I bought back in May. So, I think that was this dip here. I got filled at 1871. What the hell is that? May. Oh, okay, that's on this dump here. 1871. Okay, well, that's not bad. Sort of in this area. That's just about actually where it is right now. So that's not a terrible fill. So I had reload zone stink bids working against this low right in here. So yeah, 1773, 1871 is my fill. So I got filled right in here. Probably, yeah. I would, on balance, I'd be a little bit concerned. This is versus Bitcoin though, so it's not exactly the same as USD. I think I'll probably just stick with what I said there, on that Binance chart. Is that what we had up there? No, not that one. Darn. Maybe it was the versus the Tether. You guys heard any new FUD about Tether?
No, nothing like incredibly recently. There was some stuff a week or two ago just where like Elizabeth Warren and some other people are coming out saying that I heard there was, oh man, what was the title? It was something like it could be equivalent to a 9/11 attack to our financial sovereignty or something. like it was just this ridiculous.
Oh, you mean like totally faked from the inside?
like it was just an unbelievable like tagline or title, but no, I still think there will be regulation coming for it eventually. I think that they're going to allow time to get out of any of them. They'll just say, hey, this is what we're doing, this is when we're going to do it.
Okay.
But I could see that being the way.
We can leave the Tether conversation for another day.
Sure.
All I'll simply say is I did in this May dump here, I actually stepped in and I bought this bottom here. So I'm long. And probably my thinking was wanted to do kind of like a Benkoff check here and see if I can sneak my way in here. So I'm in. I bought a couple grand worth, so we'll see how it goes. And like I said, just even looking at the this is the Trex account. There was my crazy ass bid down there, but look at that W. I mean, if that W comes in, rock and roll, man. We could really do something here. So, yeah, fingers crossed. See how that thing goes. I do like the idea, you know, as long as no government person comes out and poops on this space. I do like the idea that we have a nice little rally through August here. So let's just let's hope that there isn't too much of a sell the news on that event out of Ethereum. So. Okay, I like this chart. I like the assets. So my apologies if I talked way too much, you know, per usual. But you know, I like this, and frankly speaking, if you wanted to throw in a stink bid down in this reload zone against these trend lines, just anywhere down in here, actually, I'd be more than happy if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Brian, I'd like to pick some up. What do you think?" I wouldn't have a problem with that. So. Okay, so there is your chart. Suppose we don't need all the momentum indicators. I think that pretty much summarizes it. And anybody watching, green boxes are buying windows. So if you see a green box, that's usually an area I want to be a buyer. Okay, so there's the chart. Now let's. I will say like FA story. Love location, liking price action. So I recently bought the dip. And actually it was interesting. I had lunch with Colin. Actually, Colin, the other day. Did you see my picture at lunch?
I saw the picture. He looked sufficiently uncomfortable with the hug. Or kiss, yeah.
I totally shocked him with that. He was not expecting me to reach over and kiss him. But I was like, what the hell? Let's make this picture funny. And his wife was sort of like, okay. Colin, is there something you need to tell me?
Well, didn't he just get engaged over the weekend?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
So not wife, fiance, bigger pardon.
That was exciting times.
Oh, it's great. And actually, that was the whole reason why he wanted to come out, was he wanted to, if I understand correctly, he wanted to propose at the same place that I guess we went up to the top of one of these local mountains here in BC when we had our big TRI meetup there a few years ago. And, actually, I guess that's not you, eh? Jeez, there's so many people that... Where is... God, I don't know how far back that is. So one thing I don't like about Rocket Chat is it's awfully difficult to scroll through this thing, eh? But I wanted to kind of show you that picture. Where is it? Give me a second. Sharktoshi. Darn. Oh, jeez, I hate when I do that. Give me a second. Maybe I'll find it over here. There we are. All right, so this is Colin from Hero. There's the fiance. It's the cutest dress she was wearing. That's totally adorable dress. And there's Brian giving a big smooch. Anyway, Colin's one of our OGs, and actually Colin, if I'm not mistaken, he actually referred Nick to TRI. So thank you very much for the referral, Colin. That's my kiss of thank you. So. Okay, let's see what the boys have to say here. So, Derek says, what does Derek say? Interested in the FA, good FA. TA, bottom of range, good value. Maybe some bids close to 78.6. All right, talking like a pro. Not sold on it. So Nick is from Missouri. Would want to learn more about the blockchain. All right. And Ben says, like FA and TA, might take a nibble at support. All right, cool. Any closing comments on that? Ben, I haven't heard from you tonight. So what do you think about this ONT?
Yeah, nothing really further to add. Yeah, everything you said is good and paints a nice picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Harmony ONE1. What the heck is this thing?
I mean, it sounds like a dating coin. Like, but it's a scaling layer 2 blockchain, I feel like it has gotten the most attention for potentially like scaling ETH, but it's apparently capable of bridging to any POW or POS blockchain and helping scale that. I have only heard of it in the terms of like being an ETH layer 2 though.
ETH layer 2. I don't know what that means.
So if you think of like when I talk about like Polygon, how I had some money over there, that is a layer 2 where
Do you like
it's
Polygon?
kind of, I just had some money over there. I think ETH is really expensive to play on. They have other kind of side blockchains that are built around it to offload some of the computation and have it be a lot faster and cheaper.
And that's what this Harmony is?
This is one of those types of scaling
And
blockchains.
Polygon's another example?
Polygon is a different example, yes.
Ah, cool. Okay. See, I'm learning. Teach an old dog new tricks. Does Polygon trade?
Polygon does. It's the Matic token.
What's the symbol?
MATIC.
Oh, okay. So it should look pretty much identical to this. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty close, eh? So, interesting. Pick your poison, I suppose. Now, I suppose with all this Ethereum changes and stuff, is that going to affect these guys' business model and stuff? Justification for being alive?
In my opinion, it really shouldn't. If it did, it probably wouldn't be until ETH 2.0 came out, hopefully next year. However, even with the scaling that Ethereum 2.0 is going to kind of enable, I still think we're going to live in a world where you want all these layer 2s increasing the scaling even more so ETH can continue to grow. So I think a lot of these layer 2s will still be important. Whether Harmony or Polygon will be one of them, I don't know.
Derek, thoughts?
Just to add, it was one of the original. It was launched on Binance through their IEO, their platform. So I don't know if it's not necessarily tied to Binance, but I guess that's where it kind of started trading first. Yes, that's where it started trading. So.
Okay. So, I mean, technically speaking, I hate to say it, this kind of looks like it's just out in no man's land. Kind of like what that Matic kind of looks like. That might actually be a function that these stories don't really know how to act right now, given what's about to happen here with ETH. That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, what do you say? Great looking bottom. I mean, there's that March. God, isn't that incredible? That March, all those lows like Bitcoin 3,000. This thing was 0.001, and it made it all the way up to like 22 cents. Jesus, I don't even. What kind of move is that? That's got to be like thousands of percent. What is that? 850%. What did Bitcoin went from 3,000 to 60K?
Yeah, so that was about a 20x.
So that would be 200.
2,000.
So that's interesting. Oh, wait a minute. So the zero line is there from the IPO date. What I want to do is measure the zero line from there, if that works. Let's see. Does it? Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, there's your
number.
13,000%.
13,000%. Holy shit. I mean, is the story... Is the good news baked into this thing? I think so. I mean, you can only reinvent the wheel so many times, right? So... I could imagine, in a weird sort of way, this is kind of how I see Luna right now as well. I mean, Luna went just absolutely nuts. It was like, 30, 40 cents, went all the way up to $20 or whatever. So, there are people that are going, oh, yeah, these things will go, they can keep growing. I don't know, man. I mean, gee whiz, that's an awful lot of growth. What I would typically say is good old Foggy Boggy. And usually Foggy Boggy stopped at like that 1688. Very rarely do I see them go beyond that. So, oh, there you go, 1688. So we banged up into that sort of 1688, and now it's kind of like, okay, I got to cool down. Probably a good example too, the Foggy Boggies. Notice we accept above 877, go zip up to 1688, and then we have to come back down to the previous Foggy, test that, and rally back up. Okay, what do we want to do? Then we lose the 877, so now we got to work our way back down to 4669, and then bank right back up to 877. Can you see how it kind of acts like ping pong, back and forth, back and forth? It's quite remarkable how this shit works, man. Suppose at some point I ought to get off my ass and do a module on this foggy stuff.
I was gonna say, the more you talk about it and the more I see it, the more I want to go research chaos theory more. It's crazy.
Yeah. So, and if anything, I know there are a few old school trader dudes who are kind of like, shut up, man, shut up, quit telling all the plebes. This is our shit, man. So you guys are pretty damn lucky. I'm guys spilling all the beans here, giving away all the secrets of the universe, reload zones and shit. Man, Brandon, I'm sure he's probably pissed off at me now. Anyway. So, I mean, can you buy that there? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. It's not something I'd be interested in. And probably, and I suppose it's exactly the same as this. This thing won't be like a quote-unquote trending buy signal until we actually get a W form on the other side of trend line. So, I mean, you can see how long this took out of the gate. And then just sort of melting down. The worst part about these kind of tops, right, is actually it looks like that. And then Derek learned, of course, last term that really the next trend line is there. That's brutal. So, really, this thing's not a bull until it W's out over on the other side of this trend line, which, oh, by the way, look at that. Man, that's incredible when you see that shit happen, eh? So there's that trend line. We said, oh, the market's not a bull until it breaks out there. So can you see what I mean, Derek? When in your level 2 program, I said market structure defines the trend line. So there's a trend line, boobity boobity boo, bang bang bang. But then the next one actually is there to there. So there to there to there, breakdown confirmed. So that's actually your trend right there. That line right there. Most people in technical analysis get this wrong. They just don't know how to do trend lines correctly. I find that fascinating. So this is one concept that we teach in our level 2 program. You're not going to find this anywhere else on the net. Nobody teaches it. It's so bizarre. So, we think, okay, well, this thing, got to wait for how it acts against this trend line to find out if it's a bull again. And lo and behold, like, that's incredible. There is that line, right? Just out of nowhere. Even here, it's like a million miles away. There it is. We're still in a downtrend. And then look at what happens here. Big spike out through it. And look how they brought it right back to that line. Battle, 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 bull. Right? In fact, you could probably even go like up, down, breakout. Right on top of that line. Which led to this, and then of course this now actually acts as support, so we can do a reload zone off of that, and lo and behold, candle body lows for trade location. Oh my goodness. And of course there's that damn trend line again. So clearly the buy for this thing was the breakout here, and away we go. Value hunters and stuff, of course, you're coming in. Look at that. I mean, you can apply this on any time frame, but just check this out. This is so cool. So you couldn't even be watching this. Boom, boom. We want 3 tags of this. So 1, 2, 3. We break it. Now give me a W anywhere on the other side of this trend line, and I can go. And really, you can see once this trend line was broken here, basically anywhere. I mean, look at that W right there. That would have been fine. Then this bigger one there. And then, of course, higher highs and higher lows defines a bull. So, anyway, what am I trying to say here? monstrous move up. It won't be a buy, in this kind of, I'm going to make $1 million kind of thing in a few weeks or months. That probably won't happen until we actually W on the other side of this trend line over here. So it's going to be a while, no doubt about it. And probably the way I would look at this, remember we saw the, what was that one that, this is, can you see the saucer bottom here, guys? Remember I was saying earlier about, I think it was the ONT, right? We want to see that saucer bottom. All right, can you see that saucer bottom?
Yep.
So that's really what we want to see out of this thing now. It's sort of like not even completed the left-hand side of the saucer yet, eh? So this thing's got a lot of cleaning up to do. So it's probably the way I would look at it. It's a great buy right here. Show me these kind of names down in here, and my hunch is there's probably good-looking momentum and volume and all that. Yeah, that's a pretty good-looking momentum. So big breakout here, right on that trend line breakout. So I think it makes sense what happened here. Unfortunately, though, now I would say it's just sort of stuck in no man's land. And actually looking at that Matic also too, I would say sort of the same thing. Mind you, interesting how this thing had his big counter trend rally to establish that massive price structure. The Matic doesn't, does it? So I'm going to put this, I don't think we need the indicators in here right now. I don't see, there's nothing going on here right now indicator-wise. So this would, to me, this is a meh. I would much rather put that money to work in that ONT. I'm going to say, to me, looks like story is over for now. Consolidating. Consolidating. Not interested. Alright. Boom. Not interested. Polygon has the money. Alright. And Ben's thinking about this. Should I be a contrarian? Should I go against the grain? What am I going to do? We'll keep an eye out for a W on other side. Alright. Okay, FEI. That's one of these. Is that a stablecoin kind of thing?
Yeah, it is. I forget which chain it's for, but it's like a US dollar stablecoin.
Okay. Digi. Yeah, it's been a long time since I talked Digi.
Yeah, Digi's been out for a long time, right?
Yeah, man, I was trading Digi back 2014, 13.
It's one of the forks of Bitcoin.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
I remember we used to have
not a fork. It was sort of, they borrowed some of the design from it, I guess. So it wasn't actually a fork of it.
Wow. I know we had one guy on the site who absolutely loved Digi last cycle.
Yeah, so their thing was they wanted to kind of speed Bitcoin up, kind of that protocol up, and then I know they have one product out now that's called DigiID, and they have, the community is pretty, I don't know, it used to be pretty strong at least. I mean, there seems some sort of rift that's happening right now. The head guy is a guy named Jared Tate, and he sort of, I guess, was kind of out, the face out in front, and there's some sort of rift that's going on right now. I don't know the whole story, but something about between developers and sort of what he's doing, and so it's there's a little rift in the community, so to speak. So,
well, it wouldn't surprise me.
What's up, Ben?
Yeah, I was going to ask, would you say that would be maybe a reason why there's like an uptick in the Google search trends? I just noticed that. I mean, usually I usually equate that to something good, but
you can look at Twitter. There's been a lot of like little back and forth stuff going on Twitter with Jared Tate and some other people and stuff like that. But yes, I mean, but this coin is, I mean, for a long time it sat at under a penny. So being at 5 cents now was a pretty big move.
Yeah, right.
Well, This to me actually looks like, I remember we made lots of money on this move up in here. But this to me actually looks like something like a Doge. This thing could probably do some serious damage if it wanted to. Fascinating. Did they leave a gap up here? No, I guess that's pretty clean, I tell you, I mean, I don't know the fundamental story. It's fascinating. I suppose this was probably a rage quit right over here. Might be interesting to see what happened in the summer of 2019, because that to me looks like some sort of catalyst that something big happened right there. And interesting, like if you just look at these ranges, we're basically down in the bottoming area. This isn't a bad area. I wouldn't mind, that profile looks a bit suspicious. Usually these profiles want to look like parabolas, so that looks a little bothersome. I guess the question here is, it's an old story, so there's probably a gazillion, bazillion, jazillion coins out. Is there anything that sort of distinguishes them between, them and the next?
Yeah, they have other features. I mean, it can support smart contracts, digital assets like creating tokens. I mean, kind of last cycle's news for Ethereum, which when they started supporting tokens and that type of thing, or really started utilizing tokens on the network, it seemed like Digibyte followed with that, and then they followed with some smart contracts. And but yeah, I mean, nothing I would say that's outstanding in my opinion, or nothing that greatly differs from other. I mean, transaction time I guess is a big deal because supposedly they can confirm transactions in several seconds, so that could be some advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems technically like the actual technical specifications of the blockchain seem better than Bitcoin in a lot of different ways. I'm coming at this from just stuff I've read. I don't know much at all about Digibyte, but when you've already got something as huge as Bitcoin, it's just going to be tough to get the traction that you need for it to really take off, I feel, even if it is technically superior.
Yeah, like I said, we used to have a few like really hardcore fans around TRI, but I don't hear too many people talk about Digi anymore. It's interesting how it's still got such a large market cap to be able to be in our top 100 list here. So even at this price, there must be a bazillion coins out.
Yeah, it almost seemed like it was always one of those stories where you would kind of hear about it and be like, "Oh, this is the next thing is going to take off," right? And it never really did.
It never got going.
Yeah, it just never.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, we looked at it versus Bitcoin there. Yeah, kind of nothing really to get excited about versus corn. We come down here. We did a nice little Benkoff check here. So at the very least, Ben's really learning what the hell this concept means. Hell, I mean, we might even had a few down there. There's one right there. We're checking that W. Then another one checking that W. When you do see all these W's come in, though, what do you think I'm going to suggest we do to try and figure out where the hell this thing's going to go? Foggy
Boggy.
Yeah, good old Foggy Boggy. I used to... My wife's family was British, and they used to. There's a whole bunch of really weird kids books that she had from when she was a kid. We used to read Liam when he was a kid, and one of them is the Saggy Baggy Elephant. I don't know if you've ever heard that story before. So anyway, it's a classic kids nursery rhyme from the UK. So, whenever I hear Foggenbaum, I always think of Saggy Baggy Elephant. I don't know why, but so that's why I say Foggy Boggy. Sorry, it's probably an odd reference. But, I suppose good old Foggenbaum. I'll probably do there to there. Does this sort of make sense why this thing went to where it did? Interesting off of this entire bottom, that 2.618 and 4.669 all slammed into here. Had to come back. I like it. Here's that ping pong analogy again. So bang, bang here. Held the 2.618. Then up to 877. So I think it's actually working off of this pattern right now. I don't know. Now this has been a real question for me because we did some of these bearish ones years gone by, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So I don't know whether we can actually use the bearish side of that, but it is interesting. There's 4.669, right, basically back down against the original lows. I suppose bulls don't want to see that. This is technically a double bottom, eh? 31.6, and that low there is 32, so it is alive. So that means we could probably go back up here like that. Interesting, 2.619, and that's going to be against all those highs. Here's another one example. You can see all these guys. Now, hopefully you guys see this, right? And think of my funny stories. It's an easy way to remember this, but you see like this wick right here. And you know who these guys are. They're all the guys that are sleeping on the couches right now. And they would love to get off of the couch. And we often say, you know, candle body highs for trade location. Notice how that and that is basically bracketing that 2.618 level. Also, too, you know, our conversations about Hogan value. So there's the bottom of value. I could actually see a rally all the way up to the top of value here. That wouldn't surprise me. So 0.079, we're at 0.05, so there's like not really any doubles there. I suppose in the short term, you know, if we got a pullback maybe following that ETH news, if we got a, oops, let's try that again. Nice little reload zone, probably down in this area. It might be worth taking a good look at. Good old Digi. Boom. There you go. So, interesting how we made reference to this Benkoff check level. That 0.04 level. That to me looks like it's pretty important. So, if you did want to participate in Doji, Doji. Not Doji. Doji's another thing altogether. Digi, I don't mind throwing in some bids down here. And actually that kind of makes sense too, right? Because we said that our ultimate objective is 7.9. So 7.9, what is that? That's 8 cents. Can you see how if you work your bids down at like this 7.86 and you get filled here, oh, mysteriously, what's going to happen if we happen to tag that 2.618? Anyone?
We sell half on our double.
Yeah. Do you think that that's an accident? I don't. You often see these trades line up perfectly like this. Like, it's almost like somebody's writing the script. All right, so there's where the market wants to go. So you're going to have to pull it back, and we're going to have to buy below 4 cents because that's where we're going to be getting off. It's almost like all this shit's predetermined. It's quite shocking how this stuff works. So, also, too, kind of a fun little treat. Derek, I'm sure, will be more than happy to point out that there's actually a couple juicy gaps that need to be filled down here. There's one right there, but actually I kind of like this one down here to be filled in. You can see there's a little hole in the chart right there. Right there. See the hole? So actually if I was going to work a real stinky ass bid, cheap ass candle body lows for trade location, you know, anywhere in this area here is probably okay. 88.6, that's the bottom end of range. We love those kind of conversations. So there you go. There's your mark. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Douche. Yeah, I don't mind that. Okay. And this kind of looks like that ONT. I think it had as well there, right? I'll leave it at that. And to me, this is actually a sentimental favorite. So I don't mind going and buying some of this stuff because this takes me back to my childhood in crypto. But anyway, this hasn't been around that long, has it? All right, so there you go. I mean, that's kind of a messy chart, but not bad. I don't mind that level at all. If I can buy some at 3.5 cents, I'll buy some. I'll say if I can buy at say 3.5, well 0.035 or better, I'll nibble. Okay, Derek says, I have a good amount of Digi. I hope it is like Doge Story. I would be very happy. We'll both change our name to Sedona Euphoria.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see a black guy named Sedona Euphoria. Maybe a white guy, you could probably get away with it. Black guy, I don't know. You'd probably
Yeah, it
catch
was
him
one of
up.
those deals where it was known to me kind of like when I first got in the market, so it was like under a penny. So it's like, well, just keep buying it. It'll go up, you know? So it's like, it kept accumulating. It was cheap, so I was like, I'll just buy $100 here, $100 there. Just
It's
so we'll
not a
see.
bad idea.
I hope it does get up there.
You know, I guess what you just don't want is you don't want that civil war. The reason why Doge worked so well is there was never any civil war, right? Everybody was all on board. And now, you know who is actually gone and just completely destroyed the
Yeah, I
whole
don't know what's
story.
going on there. There's some rifts going on like that.
Wow, it's been
Yes.
totally corrupted. So Doge today is not Doge of a year or two ago. Like, I don't know whether you guys ever saw, but the founder of Doge, he and I actually we had a lot of fun at that last DogeCon here in Vancouver. So I was involved in Doge back when it was pure, and that's actually back in. Let's see if I can show you pictures from those days. Not that day. When was that? Where is the Doge crowd? Here we are. Do you guys remember these guys? Remember, this used to be the icon for Doge. Do you guys remember that? They used to always wear crazy, outlandish outfits and stuff like that. And wow, you know, actually, I'm moving in with Andrew here in the fall. He and I are going to become roommates. There's Alex Sturck. He's a principal at UBIC. And look at Shane. Shane looks so young. Oh, my goodness. There's Jesse Couch. I don't know whether you guys know Jesse Couch. Jesse was actually a very, very popular guy in crypto last cycle. Don't hear too much from him anymore. All of these guys, like this guy, they all just became stinking rich that last cycle. You don't even hear about them anymore. So, and these guys, these poor, like these are the pure Doge people. I can't remember what her name is, but she is such a sweetheart. And these guys are smarter than fuck. These guys are so smart kids. But that's the real face of Doge. And that's actually with the actual original founder, the guy who wrote the code of Doge. He and I, we had a fun time at that parade. Where the hell's that picture? I'm sure you guys have seen it on the site. But just for the record, you know, for some reason, people believe that when Alan got involved in Doge, he was actually like the start of the story. And I just hope everybody's watching this video, and please, all of you guys, you're incumbent to make sure the world knows that Alan came and corrupted a perfectly good cryptocurrency. In fact, I would say it was probably one of the best cryptocurrencies. But now it's like, you know, that really hot chick with the long blonde hair that wears, you know, the really beautiful flowing dresses, and she just looks like an angel. And Alan came along and has just basically turned her out. So now she's down in the corner wearing plastic jewelry, you know, terrible lipstick. You can see like the crack, and crystal meth scars across her face and her body. And the story's corrupted. You know, you can't take her home to visit mom. But to give you an idea, this is the actual founder and code writer of Doge, and there's good old Brian. Now that's living the Doge life.
Yeah, that looks like a fun time there.
Yeah, it was really great. And all the kids, of course, looking at me like a total idiot, right? But I didn't give a fuck, I just having fun. But it was adorable. Like he's, he and his wife were at the DogeCon. Remember, I showed you the other two, right, dressed in their outfits. There I am in my crazy ass outfit and stuff like that. And he and his wife are sitting. You can see he's not dressed up at all. He's kind of like looking at us all, going, "You guys are a little bit out there." It was adorable. It really was. But anyway, so I was there. This picture was taken back in like 2017 or maybe 2018. I can't remember. I was there before Alan came along and did anything. What a cocksucker. Oh, well. So, anyway, let's hope Digi can go the way of Doge. But, if anything, I hope for the good people at Digi that they maintain their purity. I don't know whether that's the right word. I mean, crypto isn't very pure anyway. But I'm really disappointed in the way that Doge was just whored out and completely corrupted. So, oh well, it is what it is. Okay, so we all had our go at Digi there. Ben, did we get a word from you? What are you thinking here?
I think it's up. It's a line above.
Oh, okay. So we missed. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
'cause we did
apologies.
that.
Yeah, I put
Yeah,
it on the line above. I'll cut it out and move it.
Okay,
Oh,
no biggie. I did it. Oh.
cheers.
Okay, this next story. Now this should be a fun one because everybody makes fun when they talk about it. But if I understand correctly, there's actually a tone of seriousness about this pirate coin, isn't there?
Yeah, if anything, they're serious about privacy. Like they're really, it's private by default. So the community's is pretty active. Like the Discord, I was in the Discord for a while because I was interested from when I heard about it, and they have weekly updates, in terms of like development and stuff like that. They're very, it's interesting because they'll have people like other privacy projects on, and they'll just like, it's funny because they like tear them down, like just like, well, that's not how I would do it, and this and that. So it's kind of like you can tell they're really focused on privacy, but at the same time, there are projects that they bring on that they want to team up with in terms of like creating different things and stuff like that. But they're quick to call out somebody or other projects that aren't like fully private and fully decentralized. So they just launched their first app, or it's a casino app. So you use their I guess R as currency there, and yeah, and so they have weekly. They also have weekly and monthly like blog updates too. So I mean, if anything, the community is super active. I guess if you want that element of privacy, it's maybe has some potential, but there's also that, I guess, the risk of having a private coin. So
Yeah.
whatever that may be, if you look at it from, I guess, a regulator standpoint. But
Yeah, you made reference to our buddy Elizabeth Warren and all the socialists down in the U.S. government. They're scared shitless over these cryptocurrencies. That theoretically are skirting tax and being used by terrorists and stuff like that. How ironic, though, in this COVID world, right? The whole terrorist thing's just sort of disappeared, eh? But I guess we're not allowed to touch that. Derek told me to shh on that earlier, so we won't go there.
not on the YouTubes.
Yeah, that's smart. Remember Kevin earlier today said we got to watch our P's and Q's on YouTube. So, I just on first blush, the thing that concerns me most is basically these people. Wasn't Monero also a privacy coin?
Yeah, but
Like some
dump
more?
that to the privacy basket.
I think they've kind of moved away from the Adamasy. I think they're kind of like semi-private now, aren't they? Don't they have like private and
Yeah, I think it's like
and
optional.
public? Yeah.
Optional
So-
transactions are optional. Yeah, to be.
I mean, the problem that I have here, first off,
Hey Brian, do you
Yeah.
want me to post a different chart we could look at? It's not on TradingView. It's on that other
Yeah, this
site.
is only on like a couple exchanges. Trade Ogre is one, and then it just got put on. I guess is that KuCoin? It might have just got on there. So-
what's the? Remember, there was a website somebody wanted us to be going to that actually. I think it's like Coin.
I just DM'd you. It's Coin Trader Pro. But yeah, if you look at your DMs on TRI, I put a link for Pirate Chain on it.
Yeah. Hold on, somebody else sent a message, so just give me a second. You put it in the room?
No, I messaged you directly. I can
Okay.
put it in the room if you want, but
Yeah. I mean, Ben, I hope you're not feeling as though I'm making fun of you or anything. But I like to associate names in terms of people and stuff, and hopefully it helps you remember a little bit better.
Yeah, it's helping it stick, for sure.
Okay. Well,
So good.
if you feel as though, if any of you feel as though I'm being a little bit mean with you guys, just say so, right? Okay, CoinTrader.pro. All right, let's see what you got here.
yeah, the downside to this is just you're not going to have your templates and stuff to do easy fibs.
Oh, you bastard. Okay, Pirate Chain versus Dollar. Pirate dash Chain USD. It's got your RSI on here. I suppose that's doable. There's a cute little W that came in there a little while ago. What exchange is this on, though? Is this
like I was saying, the only one I know of is one called Trade Ogre, and I think on there you can only trade against BTC.
Trade
So-
Ogre?
So this is actually CoinMarketCap is a coin tracking site. It's actually taking the pricing data from there, and they will usually do an aggregate of the different markets that it's on.
So this thing's been around since 2019 or so? Suppose you can make the argument, smart money, all the developers and stuff are really jazzed about they come in on this thing down here. I don't know what exchange this was trading on or if this even was real, right? Because this probably was this Pirate Chain versus Bitcoin or something like that, I mean, monster move. What do you say? I mean, holy for holies. I suppose cute little W came in here a little while ago. Not really on any kind of divergence or anything though, so that's a little suspect. I personally am. What I would do, well, I guess we can go MACD. And then we will go.
And also, this coin kind of started out with the technology from Komodo.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's that. Yeah, so that's how it kind of got started, I guess. As I'm looking now, I didn't actually realize that it says in 2018, developers in the Komodo community piloted an independent asset chain with the technology offered by the Komodo platform. So that's kind of how it got started. And then they
Okay.
folded in some other privacy technologies on top of that.
All right. So I think you can see the bull div over here. From there up through there, it's kind of messy though. These lows here correspond with these lows here, and then we did actually turn back. I don't know whether we've turned up here or not. Maybe we haven't. Well, it looks pretty stable. So I don't know. Has momentum actually officially turned back up here yet or not? I don't know. It's kind of I guess the question here, I mean, again, I don't know whether I really like the idea of stepping in front of the U.S. government here on these privacy issues. I could see it work a few years ago even, last cycle and stuff, because the U.S. regulators just didn't have their act together. But, I think I even heard you guys making reference to that Mr. SEC guy. So, do you want to go to war with him? That's what I think this kind of stuff is all about. Like, there's no KYC or any of that kind of stuff with this, right? Anyone?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
No.
So, I mean, we can do some levels here. I just don't know where this data comes from.
Yeah, I mean, within the community, I've like listened to some of the weekly updates, and they've talked to a couple different like I guess side chains and things like that to try to get on there some of their DeFi stuff as sort of a privacy option,
Yeah.
for some of the chains. But I don't think there's been any actual development on that stuff. It's just
Okay, so
up now.
you can see this trend line. Boom, 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 boom. Ah, interesting. What's our rule about trend lines?
W's on the other side.
On other side. So I don't think I would actually qualify that as a W on the other side of this trend line. I think if there's going to be a buy signal, the W has to come in now.
If it kind of rides down the trend line like it did, can you count that as the left part of a W or no?
No.
Nope. Okay. It has to be completely off the trend line before you
It's
look.
got to be entirely on the other side of this trend line.
Okay.
I mean, you can take that, but for me, I've done this before. Especially the ego in this stupid game, right? You want to be the guy, like, yeah, man, this is the buy, this is the shit, this is the level, and then it goes, and then it just, and you're like, and the worst part about this, right, is if this turns ugly, this son of a gun could very easily crap out and start working its way along here like this, and it's just like, oh god, what a nightmare. I've seen that happen so many times. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen here, but the rule for me is I can turn bullish as soon as I get a W on the other side. So if this actually comes in here, and I often see this, and it pisses people off, that, okay, well, maybe the W is that, and there it goes there. Okay, fine. That's your buy signal. But not until it's completely on the other side of this trend line. And I also don't like, kind of like what I'm seeing here. This to me looks like momentum's a little bit exhausted here. So a little bit of an M top. Interesting that came in, like actually out of the box, 70 level is technically overbought. So interesting how that came in here. Sitting right at the 50 line. Actually, no, there's the 50 line down there. We actually have and actually I don't teach this, but I really probably should get off my ass and do this. But let's see if any of you guys have been paying attention to my public broadcasts on this. If we're going to trade RSI, let's see. First off, what would I color this first M up here? If you guys were following along my crazy analysis. No? Okay.
I don't know what you call.
Basically, I have like 3 colors of trend lines, and based on the coloring of the trend line, we actually can gauge what behavior we should have. And they go teal, usually stops the bull or bear, and then yellow is actually the trade signal line, the second M that comes in on the way down. And if this M comes in on a move through the 50 line, then that actually becomes a very, very strong signal. So 50 line's all the way down here. If this confirms here, that's not going to be through the 50 line. That's quite a bit higher than the 50 line. So you don't have to worry about this turning into an absolute train wreck. But my hunch is that if this M comes in here, this will be your trade signal, and that will actually be a short signal. And then the third M, does anybody know what we color that one? Maybe you guys know that. What do you think I would color that one?
Probably something like red.
Purple.
That's half red.
Yeah, there you go. And the purple, ironically enough, if you see a third M come in, then the purple actually is the noob, trap, and so we go yellow there. So number 2 and then number 3 is going to be purple, and this is unfortunately where all the public usually trades. And the third M or W is usually a trap. So try not to take that third M in RSI, because this is usually a trap, and usually market will be like this, then it'll come back up here, and then it'll do that, and then this will be what on the first W off of this pattern. What did I say the first pattern color would be?
Teal.
Good. So that would be like that, right? And we start the whole damn thing going the other direction. So you can even see like down in here, especially up here. I mean, look at this: big M's, then more M's, then more M's, then W's, teal, but we never did get another W, got a new M, then a little teal W, then new M's, then second M, third M. So here's probably a really good example of that. So we go like, this will be yellow, and then this one would be teal, or purple. So this first one would be maybe even off of there. Teal. Probably that one. I don't know, it's tough to say. Maybe we even go there to there. So this breakdown here, actually this is our second M. Right there. So that's your yellow. And this is teal. So first M, second M, this is your trade. It's below 50 line, so it's not a big monstrous signal. Third M comes in. This is your trap. This is where the public's all going short, and they get crushed. And then we start the whole game going the other direction. So this is teal, right, heading up. Never really did get a second W, did we? So instantly new M teal tops, and then we start our count back down. I don't know. That was probably a waste of time. But it's a really fun way to use RSI, and it really keeps you out of a lot of trouble. If you just count which M or W we're in, it can give you a pretty good idea where we are in trend. So just looking at this right now, what I see is we just had the little M that's told the bulls just to cool their jets right there. That should be teal. And the question is, do we make another M, which will be yellow, which will be a sell signal? So, little M up here, this M in RSI stops the bull. And now, you know, if we M out here a second time, it'll mean going through that low. And that's going to be, what kind of harmonic pattern that you learned in level 1 could that possibly be, Nick? There we go, boobity-boo.
An A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's pretty easy. There's only one harmonic pattern we learn in level 1.
And really all I want is one, because when we get to harmonics, it's really screwy. You get some really bizarre patterns, so I don't want you guys overstressing it. So if this second M comes in our RSI, like we said, it's probably not going to be a massive, oh my god, short the fuck out of this thing, it's going into the ground. But it's going to be a sell signal. And interesting how this A, B, C, D, can you see how it's going to be nothing more than a Ben?
Whack off check. Or bank off check.
There you go. So, and then the irony of it all is on that event, right? We probably put in another little M, and then, you know, RSI's like down here, and it gives like a little head fake. The noobs all got insanely bullish here, and then the damn thing goes and W's out and starts heading right back up again, and we do the whole damn thing all over again. So, point of the matter here is kind of in no man's land right here, price-wise. I don't like it just sitting there. There's nothing that I would do just right here. And also, too, like if I go back to like Trading View, and it's like R, right? Is it RARR? Yeah, there it is. It's only on KuCoin. Is that the only exchange that it? And then you said it trades on like Bob's Big Crypto.
Yeah, basically. It's a thing called Trade Ogre.
That's out of Mom's basement. So I
Yeah,
don't know
actually-
whether I can really, KuCoin's fun. Everybody knows what KuCoin is, like a Korean sort of hub. I think they're based out of Singapore, though, aren't they? I don't know. Somebody said something like that. But I do know that this is a favorite exchange of the Koreans. They love using that. So I don't know. I don't even know whether I can even believe this chart. How do I use that? Where do I validate that that's actually real? Is this just an amalgamated image that was just sort of created? I just don't know.
So my interpretation of like CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko is that they kind of aggregate together the different markets that it's on, and they try to
this is
create some
CoinMarketCap?
representative. Yeah,
Ah.
and so it's not an
This is
exchange.
owned by what's his face, isn't it? Didn't Binance CZ come and buy this thing out one day?
It does look like the parent organization is Binance Holdings Limited.
Yeah, I remember they bought this place out a while ago. They were so sick and tired of having to, if you go to Binance and you want to get like a description of the coin, they couldn't figure out how to do that internally, so they just went and bought this place and said, look, you want to learn about the fucking coin, go here. And they embedded the link right on their webpage. Talk about an easy solution to a problem, eh? We could hire a fucking room full of coders, and it's gonna cost $100 million for them to do it, or we can just go and buy this place out for $100 million. Done. So interesting solution. I mean, it's an interesting chart, and we just went through the whole talk. Maybe if you had like a nice little pullback against these lows and the lows held and we got a nice little W, I might take a stab at it for a trade, but there's probably nothing else I'd be too interested in because it's not really something that I can wrap my head around here in North America. And you said that, yeah, I guess the problem that I have, the biggest problem is that these guys are basically going to go to war with the regulators. So I'm just going to simply say, not my bag. Probably better places for me to have my money. Okay. And that's just me. It's not really like it's right or wrong. I don't want to get it. I don't want to go to war with these regulators. I really like the idea of privacy, and I like to be a little defiant every now and then. I have a free position. Okay. Especially you being in the States. I'm in Canada, so to a certain degree, I'm kind of insulated. You be careful down in the States, eh? Not personally interested in privacy coins, but I can see the use case popularity. Yeah, I like that statement. And Ben's just not interested. Just be careful, Derek. I don't want Big Brother to come along and shit on your head.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't, would it?
Hey,
Okay.
Brian.
My name isn't Derek.
What? Oh.
Not Derek.
Hey, Brian. Wade did ask if you're looking for a little old lady play and you saw that chart, would you still want to wait for a W on the other side, or could you just take a stab in the reload zone?
Well, if you're looking at this chart,
Or I think he was saying more in general when you have a trend line like that.
yeah, so just remember the trend line breakout is trending higher. Get ready to rock and roll. The little old lady, please understand this, everybody. They're not in a hurry. When I would load, no, load's not the right word. When I, it's so funny, you look over at YouTube and I see somebody said, oh, I'm going to load up. So I got that word in my head. When I would have the elderly ladies who would open up an account with me, they just wanted to make darn sure that that account money isn't going to go anywhere. And they're not going to get margin calls. They're not going to, They do not even want to hear the word stop loss. That's just not part of their vocabulary. So something like this, I wouldn't have a problem. The little old ladies, I would simply say, let's take whatever you're working with. Let's say it's, I don't know, $10,000. 5% of that is $500. And let's take that $500 and let's slowly work you into this. So maybe we spend like $100 a go. And we're just going to slowly dollar cost average her or him. A little old man, I'm sure. We don't need to be sexist here. We're just going to slowly work your way into the story, just as I'm making sure we are at or below reload zones. So the fact that this is below 78.6, to me says that this is cheap relative to its trading range. I don't know whether I would feel comfortable suggesting to a little old lady, though, to take a shot on a privacy coin, knowing full well that the regulators really do not like this part of the market. This is the part of crypto that they absolutely detest. And they might even look for scapegoats. They may look for, we are going to make an example out of these people and just drop the fucking hammer on these people. That could easily happen. Easily. So, risk management strategy. Are you breaking the rules? Doing a little old lady risk management approach to this and coming in with less than 5% of your stake and just nibbling away here at these levels? I don't have a problem with that. Is this something that I would feel comfortable, a little old lady getting involved in? You know what this reminds me of? Here comes Brian with another one of his crazy images. I mean, if you can handle this, I don't know whether you can handle it or not. That's up to you. But the way I would look at this is this kind of little old lady trade. They're little old ladies. They're hip. They're cool. They ride bikes. They don't give a fuck about establishment, authority, whatever. If you want to be a little old lady like this, okay, fine, great, awesome.
They like to be a little defined every now and then.
Yeah. Am I going to say that this is a momentum breakout trade where you go and grab a whack of this, you're going to make a pile of money? I don't see that right now. In fact, a little old lady said, okay, Brian, go and pick me up a little this. I say, okay, well, we're probably going to be sitting on it for a while. And she'd probably be like, okay, well, I'm off to Canasta. I'm working on in the garden. Let me know if there's something that needs to be done. So there you go. So thank you, Hard Made Easy, a.k.a. Nick, for the conveying of the question. I thought, it's a very good question. Nothing wrong with that at all. Rob. Ruff, woof, meow. That goes out to one particular person watching the show here tonight. All right. 10 to top of the hour. What do you think? Maybe one more?
We could do one more. You're kind of cutting out a little bit for me audio-wise. Is Ben or Derek, is that happening for you?
The video is kind of cutting out too.
It briefly happened for a second there on my end.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Well, we could always wind it up here. What do you think, guys? I mean, we gave it a good couple hours. Oh yeah, I see. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming.
Maybe we call it then.
Okay.
I was going to say we could definitely do one more, but I don't know. Maybe we just call it and we pick it up again next week.
Did you guys have fun tonight? I wasn't too long-winded, was I? I don't know whether we're still if we're still on YouTube or not, or did it completely die?
I can check quick.
I
can still hear it.
Oh, okay.
It looks like it's still going.
Okay, well, what the hell? Why don't we call it a night? I mean, it doesn't look like we're in a huge hurry here. I don't see like a stampede of people. There's only about 20 or 30 people here, so Why don't we call it a night? FYI, I'm going to be taking a week or two off here at the end of the school term. I usually do at the end of the term and just sort of disconnect for a bit. So probably a really poor time to take vacation time, but I think I need it after the school term. So just FYI there. I'll plan that we'll do a show next week. But I will be taking a couple of weeks off from doing this just to sort of unwind a bit.
Okay, I will tell you what then. Next week, I will actually keep us on track time-wise. I know I'm terrible at that, but we'll get through the rest of these next week.
All right. So there you go. So somebody's going to lay down the law. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much for your assistance tonight. I think we had a pretty good time, didn't we? I hope we did. We got through a few names actually, and I really like that ONT. I showed you on the screen. I just went and bought a big whack of it. Digi, I'd be more than happy to buy. So this is the kind of thing. Remember we talked about that crowd-funded mutual fund idea. So this would definitely be one where I would be very comfortable having the ONT in the fund and Digi for that matter.
Yeah, I was looking a little into that. We might need to get a little creative with how we do that, because I feel like there are definitely a lot of laws, at least in the US, around like essentially running a fund, which I feel like that's what this would be. So
I have no idea. It was more for fun, really.
Maybe just an index or something. I don't know.
I remember people last cycle, they really wanted us to get a fund going with the Coinigy people, and we just never got it going. What we might do is we might even just create that index fund at TRI and just do it ourselves, and then if people want to replicate the fund on their own, they could. Maybe if we're still doing this in the spring and we have a little bit clearer direction from the you-know-who's that are sort of driving the bus here in our crazy society, maybe we can have some better direction on that. But I was thinking about just sort of the very simple crowdsourcing kind of just go straight to the internet. But anyway, we'll kick it around.
Another option that I thought might be interesting is I don't know if you've heard of like copy trading. So essentially you have an account and then people just set their account to point at your account and copy whatever you do.
Yeah, they used to do that. I remember Julian, he was really big on that, on like Simple FX. I think they did it for a long time, and literally the regulators one by one came and just shit on each one of them and shut them all down. I don't know whether there still are those around, but I do remember like last cycle they were very, very popular, but one by one the regulators came and just shit on them.
I guess we could, like, something that I don't think would be illegal by any means, because I see it on Twitter all the time. You could have a Twitter account that just literally has all of our buys with our targets and our stop losses as we're doing them, and whenever a trade happens, we tweet it out, and if people have their alerts on, they can kind of play along.
Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't want to have that anymore.
I would prefer that we have that service, and really, probably what I'd like to see is this little application morph into something along those lines. Like you said, if you have like a little gold star or something by them, then it means that we're invested in our little fund kind of idea, and then this just floats around the site. Maybe it's a link right in the library or something. That would be really cool.
Right.
So, anyway, food for thought. Anybody watching this, if you do have any suggestions, if you happen to know of a way to put one of these together, feel free to leave a comment. Hit the like button. How does it go? Smash the subscribe button. Ring Colleen's bell. I don't know. Do you guys even know Colleen? Yeah, Colleen. She's now gone all the way through the education program. She's a veteran on the site. But when she was going through the program, she was a guinea pig just like all of you with me. So, and I used to always say every single show, just make sure to ring Colleen's bell. So, but now, you guys grow up. It's kind of sad. It almost feels like I'm like a high school teacher, right? And the high school classes, they go through the system, right? And then people come back like 5-10 years ago. Hey, Mr. Beamish, I'm now a lawyer. Look at me, kind of thing. And it's like, oh, you've all grown up, little Janie. Anyway, so it's been a pleasure working with the three of you this term. It'll be interesting to see how this morphs into the new term, because I'm wondering whether it might be a good idea to continue that sort of theme. I don't know what your guys' plans are. I think, Nick, you said that you're thinking about moving on to the level 2. Is that correct?
Yeah, right now my plan is definitely doing 2 and 3 back to back right after 1.
Right. So, Derek, I don't know what your plans are.
I'm
But,
going to level 3.
Oh, you are? You're planning on
Yep.
moving on? That's, of course, if you two pass the exam.
Yeah, gotta pass it.
Naturally.
Just kidding. So, you could be my 2s and 3s next term. I suppose we'll have to get a new level 1er or something in here. No
I'll have to
pressure
put my
on you,
hand up
Ben.
for that.
No pressure on you. So, but I wouldn't mind. I really did like this idea of having the school people and a site person on this show. It was an interesting past 10 weeks. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I really appreciated working with you guys.
No, I think it's our pleasure.
Thanks for letting us get involved. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I learned enough tidbits here that, like, it was almost like a secondary class session each week, so it was really helpful for
Awesome.
me personally.
I think Ben learned a thing or two.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why I'm so quiet. I'm scared you're gonna ask me a question, so I'm just trying to listen to everything you say and take it in.
It's all good. All right, there's 8 o'clock, so why don't we call it 2 hours? Thank you so much, gentlemen. Great show. We're slowly working through the list. If anything, Nick, you want to crack the whip a little bit next week, we'll wind up. We'll have this nice, robust 100 names, and then we've got a nice little sort of database to start working on. And then probably what we want to do is first thing next quarter is we start back up at the top of the list and go through the whole damn thing all over again. Actually, that might work out quite well. All right. Who took us out last time?
I think it was Ben.
Ben. All right. So, what do you think, Derek? Do you feel up for a big goodbye here this evening?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, thank you so much, everybody, for participating. Pop on and grab that little app so you have it at least in your folder, in your diary, in your journals, whatever. We'll look forward to chatting with the boys again next week for one more session before the end of the term. But I think to take us on out of here, Derek is going to do the honors. So the only thing for the group at TRI to say this evening is...
Bye for now.